some of our stuff going here. And then we'll let people in, but let's get the Facebook first.
Was I gonna ask you? So is this going to just be when I'm done? Is the meeting done, or am I part of a larger meeting?
Oh no, we only do it for 1 hour, right? So our format is we introduce our network for take 5 minutes to let people in, and then we take another 5 minutes to introduce our network. Then I read your bio. Then your 30 minutes, your presentation, then 10 minutes of question and answer. And at the end, we just network to figure, say who's from New Jersey, New York, let's talk. And then we're gonna post in the chat box your offers you have. Like you have the WCR 2021 offer, you have the free ebook offer. Right. And then I let everybody know at the end when we send a copy of the recording, we're gonna give them all your information because I know you have like a personal letter that you like to send to people. So we're gonna send that to them.
Perfect.
Yeah, hold on, let's put the divorce.
So we'll be able to send a follow-up. Nikki will send you the follow-up email and you'll send it out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, that's good to know because with it only being about 30 minutes that I'm going to be speaking, there's, obviously a lot of stuff that I kind of cut out, which is totally fine. But if I know that that we can send something else, more information, then that's great.
Yeah, because you definitely at the end, and with the questions, you want to talk about your boot camp. Yeah. You want to talk about the actual designation.
Perfect.
And things like that. So you do want, you will have time because you definitely want to talk about that boot camp because that's going to be a nice one. So you definitely want to talk about that.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, we are live and we're going to start letting people in.
Sounds good.
Oh yeah, I see we got a few presidents on here.
Tony, would you like to change your name? Put the Tony.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize my name was.
I just put my name, first name.
Yeah, thank you. See, I'm telling you, this woman, she's so organized. We got President Cher from Ventura County, Tamara Sims, President Neela. Hold on, I'm just working on our Facebook Live, making sure it gets posted everywhere. You guys all know my wonderful president-elect, Hirogo.
Nice to see you, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, we're in for a treat. And we're letting people in.
Yeah, people are living.
Minute. So we'll start like 5 minutes after because we want to make sure we get everyone logged in. Or a minute is the word. But happy Wednesday, everyone. And today's the last day of Women's History Month. It's always wonderful to see our sister networks joining us.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm calling from New Jersey, from rainy New Jersey.
That sounds like President Diane.
Yes, it is. Thank you for having me.
How you doing, New Jersey?
Good. It's nice. It's kind of warm, but it's rainy.
Oh.
Yeah, I make it a point not to talk about California weather because people get mad at us. Beverly Ripple. Beverly Ripple has the cutest referral card she sends out. Her last one, she goes, I have hot news. And then she has like hot sauce on her tongue.
Love it.
Yeah, I actually have to show it because I pinned it up. Yeah. Yeah. So if you see, this is from Beverly Whipple, who just joined us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I have some hot news. Yeah, she has like the cutest cards.
Oh my gosh. I put the pink.
Oh, sorry, you had to spotlight me.
Yeah.
My
spotlight.
realtor skills are on fire.
About me.
Look at that.
Ah,
Beverly,
some
that is a cute card.
oh, cute.
Thank you very much.
So I keep that
I
pinned
logged in
up.
at the right time.
Okay. Gallery view. Okay, oh, only 1 minute after. Okay, good. And Beverly, you want to tell us where you're from?
Yeah, absolutely. I am in St. George, Utah, so very southern in Utah.
Utah.
Mm.
And I see we got Cammie in Spokane, Washington.
Yes, hello, thank you.
Welcome. And Tony Gregg from Washington State.
Thank you.
And I see Angela from Arizona. Now, I know you have some heat out there. My brother lives in Peoria, Arizona.
Yes, I'm actually in Peoria as well.
Okay. Well, I'll be out there next month. She's graduating from high school.
But we do have nice weather areas too. I was just in Prescott yesterday for our state conference and it was beautiful there. That's only an hour and a half away.
That's true. That's true. No, I like Arizona. Scottsdale is one of my favorite places out there too. And Bridget Campbell.
Hello.
And where are you from?
I'm actually in sunny Illinois, which it's strange to actually have said sunny and Illinois in the same sentence because that doesn't happen very often. So Western Chicago suburbs. You're muted. Tanya, you're still muted.
I'm muted. I accidentally muted myself. And yes, a few more minutes and we get started. Just want to log people in. Let's see. Dee Whitaker, one of my favorite women council sisters is here.
Hi, Connie. Glad to see you.
It's always good to see you, Miss Dee.
Well, thank you. It's great to see you. I need a background like you. It's so springy. I love it. Your team has it.
Well, we got this from our Canva Queen, first Vice President, Sabrina Brown, because she's having us use this for our spring meeting. So we just adjusted a little bit just for our purposes.
I need
as you see,
I can't find it. I gotta find mine. I put this one up, but I can't find the one she gave me.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, the subject line is spring meeting. It says spring meeting, Cher. It's the subject line of that email.
I thought Rosanna did it, so I was looking under Rosanna, so I'll go back and find it now.
Yeah.
Thank
spring,
you.
Yeah, spring, that's what we do. Yeah, Cindy has hers up for spring meeting. And we have our district vice president, Renee, here. Hello, Renee, who just had a birthday last week.
Hi there, Tani. Yeah, thank you. Got my senior citizen card. All right, ready to use it sometime. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. And I see we got a couple of our new members with us, Tiffany Diaz and Stacy Green. And okay, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and get started. Please start it, Miss President-elect.
Sure.
Okay, so welcome. Today we do Hump Day Wednesdays, and it's about knowing your market. And we're the LA-Beverly Hills Network, and this is our leadership team. I am Tawny English, the president. Our president-elect, who does all of our technical things and make us look good, is Hiroko Nauman. Our secretary, Janine Gershon. Our treasurer is Michelle Wynn. Our director of events is Stacy Harper. So she was the voice you heard today or yesterday on the voicemail. And our director of membership is Carly Salzman. And our director of members and strategic partnership is Brooke Kalama. And Who are Women's Council members? We're highly successful professional realtors. We earn two times more than the average realtor. We've been in business 25% longer than the average realtor. We generate an average of 50% of business from our referrals. We have a referral mindset. Our current membership nationwide is 12,000. Our local and state networks combined is 253. And we were founded in 1938. And the 5 reasons to join us is 1, we're a top referral network. 54% of our members sends out 1 or more referrals to another Women's Council member. We earn on average 15,000 in referral commissions. We have a great referral online system, and our numbers tells it all. Our Women's Council members earn around 135,000 a year. 65% of us hold leadership positions in the community or in the industry. And 20% of us hold NAR committee positions. And we offer quite a bit of business leadership training. And we're all about connections. As you see here, we have representation from all over the nation today. And we have great benefits. You know, you get discounts for rental cars, shipping, closing gifts, tickets, office supplies, flowers, gift baskets, prescription. And now we have simple texting that you also get a 20% discount off. And we do Hump Day Wednesdays. We have different themes. Our first Wednesday is Know Your Business. So we talk about different real estate industry topics. Our second Wednesday is Social Tech Wednesday, which we talk about digital marketing, social media training. Our third week is Grow Your Business. So we have lead generation, referrals, networking. And our fourth Wednesday, which is Know Your Market. We get market updates from realtors and experts. And our next event is on April 7th with LaRocca Inspection, and he's going to talk about how you can avoid getting your escrow canceled due to property issues that could be avoided. So we look forward to seeing you there. And then after that, social tech. What's the big deal about Clubhouse? So we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts on Clubhouse and how to bring your social media to life. And our yearly events, we have a network anniversary, membership appreciation, fashion show, and top producers. So hopefully we'll be doing those live. And, you know, this is the place where you can maximize your referral networking and sphere influence. Women's Council is a leadership organization that provides leadership opportunities that enrich both our organization and you as a leader. So come on board. And let's talk about our Emerald level strategic partner. The first one is Carly.
Hi there. My name is Carly Saltzman. I'm a mortgage loan officer based out of Los Angeles, California, and I love mortgages. And the reason I do is because I love to connect with people from all walks of life and to help them see the bigger picture of their financial goals. Each individual is different, therefore each real estate transaction is different. And it's important to be flexible, malleable, and to see what your clients need and what they're asking for. A real estate transaction doesn't necessarily need to be a scary thing. My passion is to dissect the unique needs of my clients and make sure that their home lending process is as smooth as butter and really just a pleasant experience in the end so they can enjoy their home.
Hello, I'm Nick Ramirez, agency owner of Goosehead Insurance in Encino. For years now, we've been helping realtors just like you help their buyers find the best deal for home and auto insurance in the state of California. When you're in escrow on a purchase, you want to make sure to refer your clients to a skilled agency who can make sure to not only provide a memorable experience, but also ensure that you close escrow on time, every time. Whether you're representing a first-time home buyer or a skilled investor, our agency knows how to customize the right coverage and present the right experience to the right client, making you look fantastic. And if there's one thing I want you to remember, is always encourage your clients when you refer them to bundle home and auto insurance, because every zip code has different rates and it's important to get the best deal you can every single time. With over 180 5-star reviews, we're excited to work with you.
Hello, my name is Chris Griffin. LaRocca Inspections was founded in 1994 to serve your clients' needs for their home inspections in the greater Los Angeles area. We offer the four most common home inspections: the general physical, the sewer line, the mold inspection, and the chimney inspection. If there's an inspection your client desires that we don't offer, we have an extensive list of contractor referrals and inspectors on our website. Go to our website for contractor referrals and get your free copy of our Buyer's and Seller's Guide to Inspections. We are your go-to resource for multiple inspection services and annual property reviews for homeowners. We look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you so much.
So we love our strategic partners. Nick is awesome for insurance, and Carly, her team actually provides services nationwide. So she's a definite good person to reach out to, and she's also happens to be our director of membership. And then there's Nick. He's great for bundling all types of insurance for your clients out here in the Los Angeles area, San Fernando area. And then Chris Griffin of LaRocca, they're your one-stop shop for all your inspections, from chimney, sewer, regular home inspection, everything. LaRocca is the place to go. So let's talk. Now I want to tell you, you are in for a treat. When it comes to the divorce niche, our featured speaker is the #1 expert. Laurel Starks is a recognized court-appointed expert and trained in neutral and family law cases involving real estate matters. Her focus on divorce-related real estate has led to over $200 million in sales volume throughout Southern California, and is often regarded by her peers as the pioneer of the divorce real estate niche. Laurel has advised, consulted, and testified in hundreds of divorce cases, facilitating the sale of real property, as well as providing fair market valuation reports and testimonies there too. She is a national speaker on topics pertaining to real estate and family law. Attorneys, judges, and other legal professionals have come to rely on her knowledge, judgment, integrity, as well as her ability to explain complex real estate matters to those affected by them. She has established a national divorce designation and is the author of The House Matters in Divorce, a guide for homeowners facing divorce, which was the #1 in the Amazon new release family law category. In 2016, she was recognized as an innovator by Inman News for her pioneering work in the divorce real estate field. And in 2017, she was recognized as an Inman influencer for her contributions to the real estate industry. So without any further ado, Laurel Starks.
I'm muted. There we go. Hi, everyone. It is an honor to be on. So thank you so much, Tawny and the whole leadership team at the Women's Council of Realtors, for having me. Women in the workforce, women in real estate is a huge passion of mine. And so to have the opportunity to speak to you guys and to be on during Women's History Month, as well as obviously to the Women's Council, is it's a special honor. So today we are going to go through, you're going to get a pretty good glimpse of the divorce niche. And I am going to share my screen here in just a second. I will say that I am not going to look at the chat while I'm talking. So if you have any questions, I will go back through when we're done. I will go back through and comb the chat and make sure that I get your questions answered. So just a tad bit about how I got into the niche. My background was actually in the airline industry. So I was a flight attendant out of Los Angeles for Northwest Airlines. And after I got out of the airline industry, after I had kids, I decided to get into real estate so that I would be able to have a career and I could balance, having kids as well. So I got into the industry in 2005. My very second listing was a divorce listing. And I really, I was really caught by surprise because this woman called me and said she just left court and that I had been selected to be the realtor because I knew somebody who knew somebody, and that she needed to sell her home to be up in Oregon in 30 days so that her son could start school in 30 days, going into like the 7th grade. So I went over to her house, and the house was in a lot of disrepair. And I listened to her whole story, and I sat there for about 3 hours going over, she was telling me all about the demise of her marriage and how her husband had been abusive and he's not been paying any support. She's had no money at all. She had no money to fix up, make some even basic repairs to the house. It was in really bad shape. And so she needed this house to be sold so she could get the money and move on up to Oregon to be with family and to have a better life. And she told me that she didn't think that her husband was going to cooperate. There had been a restraining order against him, and she didn't think that he was going to cooperate. He's very controlling. And she was right. I tried to speak with him. He refused to take my calls. He took one call, and he said, he's not going to sign anything that I want him to sign. He's not going to cooperate in any way, shape, or form, even though there had been a court order to sell the house. And he said that, lose my number, hell's going to freeze over before I sign any of your paperwork. So he was true to his word, and I never spoke with him again. A couple of weeks later, I found myself in a courthouse testifying to a judge about what I needed to do in order to complete the sale, and that he was not signing any paperwork. So it was a very interesting experience. I got another case and then another case. And what I learned was that this was a very underserved niche. As I got deeper and deeper into it, I learned and realized that family law attorneys really do not have much more information about real estate than Joe Public does. They get a lot of their information from Zillow or from the 6 o'clock evening news. So they're making, they're advising their clients on information that isn't necessarily accurate. And as a result, divorcing homeowners are left with either delayed sales, so it perpetuates a toxic environment, or they're left in the hands of an incapable professional, costing them tens of thousands of dollars. So I said, I'm drawn to this. It's a passion of mine. And so I really dug in and learned how to serve my family law community here locally, so that I could, I could make the lives of divorcing families better, and so that I could make attorneys better attorneys, because I keep them informed so they're always one step ahead of their clients. That's always my goal. So I did that, and I've been doing it since 2006. And so 99% of my business is divorce. I'm court appointed here in, I've been court appointed in San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange, and LA counties as the courts expert to list and sell the property. So that is what I do 99% of the time. And in 2000, and I built a real estate team doing this. It's a great niche if you have a team. But then I decided my heart was not in the team as much as it was educating other realtors throughout the country how to do this work. Because as I met, and I would meet lawyers all over the country, and they would say, I need a Laurel Starks in my area. And I didn't really have anybody, because there's really no legitimate training. There are a couple of things, here and there, but there's nothing that is truly a legitimate training teaching realtors exactly what they need to know to serve this niche. And so I decided in 2016 to grab a few of my family law attorneys that help coach and mold me. And I asked them if they would be up for creating a world-class education for the industry. And they all unanimously said yes. And so we put together a curriculum that is the hands down, the most comprehensive, elite, and amazing training program and platform for the industry in divorce real estate. So if this is something that you want to get into, whether you want to just learn how to do a few divorce listings better, or you actually want to make this a leg of your business, then you're at the right place. So we're going to talk about several things. And then if you, depending on where you want to go from this, we've got resources for you that we're going to go over towards the end. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And if I can just get a yes in the chat that you do see my screen, that it's all good, that I'm not over here kind of talking. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's see here. Tawny gave a great intro. So we're going to go over what to expect in 2021 in the divorce real estate space, tips to avoid pitfalls, dealing with complexities, so you understand a little bit about what the complexities are that arise in these listings, practical tips on how to manage the drama, and then lastly, how to break into the niche. So I'm going to kind of fly through this because we've got a lot of content to cover. And I think, Tawny, we have until, I want to make sure that I'm cognizant of time. We have got about how long? It's 1:20.
So we say like 1:50.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So we'll go until about 1:50 and then take questions at that point. Is that right? Awesome. Okay. So national statistics. So these are rough statistics on how many divorces are there annually. So annually speaking, there are about 1 million, and roughly 70% of them involve real property. It's a little bit of a tough stat to quantify because you've got the number of filings and then you've got the number of completed divorces. So not every divorce filing results in a divorce, or not every divorce filing results in a divorce in the same year. In fact, most don't. Most of them drag on for any length of time. So what is going on in 2021 with regards to divorce listings, and why is there a surge? So we're going to run through each of these bullets on the right-hand side of the screen, and I'm going to explain it. Number one, court closures in 2020. No matter where you were, your court was probably closed, or at the very least, it was drastically reduced down to one department, maybe part-time. So to give you a reference, in my local courthouse, we have 10 family law departments. That means judges. And it was about March through most of June, we had been whittled down to one department until noon. Okay. So that the court was only hearing domestic violence cases or extreme child custody or child abduction. I mean, they were triage, right? So they were hearing only very specific types of cases. Things like real property were not on their docket. That was not an emergency to them. So real property hearings got pushed back, as did a whole lot of other trials and that sort of thing. So when you have already a clogged court system and then you shut it down for 3 months and then you partially open it again, you can only imagine what kind of a backlog there is. So what we're seeing now is a lot of cases and a lot of orders that would have been made in the Q1, Q2, even Q3 of last year are now starting to wind their way through the system now. So we are seeing that. So that is one reason why we're seeing more divorce listings, because there's been sort of a, we call it pent up demand in our industry, right? So that's one reason why we're seeing more. Another reason is because when a divorce happens with the house, two options. They can either keep it or they can sell it. Ordinarily, when they keep it, one party is going to buy out the other party. So let's just say, to make numbers easy, let's just say that, they owe $600,000 and the house is worth $1 million. If one spouse is keeping the house, let's say it's the husband that's keeping the house, well, he needs to buy out his wife in the amount of the equity she's entitled. So let's say it's 50-50. So he would need to get a new mortgage. For those of you who've been listening, I'm going to look down the chat. What would his new mortgage need to be? If the house is worth $1 million, current mortgage is 600,000, and he's buying out the equity of 400. Perfect. Erica, 800,000. He needs to get an $800,000 mortgage, right? So because of the run up in home prices, those buyout amounts have become cost prohibitive for a lot of people. It's also put a lot of people into a jumbo loan product that they can't qualify for. So we've seen S&P Case-Shiller report just came out in January 2021. We have seen the highest run up in home prices since 2006, 11.2% annual gain, average annual gain. We all know some areas have increased a lot more than that. So that's one reason. Another reason, damaged credit. What was everybody doing a year ago? They were getting forbearances on their mortgages, right? They were getting laid off of work. So they weren't making their bills. So in addition to a higher buyout amount, we've got less people that are able to qualify for that due to the credit harm. So due to unqualified buyouts, the only option left is to sell. So these are the main reasons why we are seeing a surge and an uptick in divorce, in the sale of real property in family law cases. Now, I want to talk for just a second. I'm going to shift a second and talk about the impact of divorce on women and families. So we all know that there are tax incentives and the laws that favor married couples, right? Married, filing joint, you get better tax deductions and all these types of things. The net worth of each person in a marriage increases 77%. The net worth starts to drop 4 years before a divorce. Divorcees experience a decline of 77% of their wealth. Divorcees experience an average of 77% wealth decline. Okay. Divorce does not make people richer. Divorce is an atom bomb on a financial portfolio. COVID or no COVID. Now let's talk about it for women. Divorce is more financially hard on women. 13.6 million single parents in the US, but only 16% are single dads. That leaves 84% of single parents are women. Financial resources for women and children are slashed in half after divorce. 1 in 5 women become impoverished after divorce. According to Stephen Jenkins, he's a professor at London School of Economics, the main reason women suffer the brunt of divorce's financial burdens is that during the marriage, they are more likely than men to stop working in order to raise kids. This is why. Women take a financial beating after a divorce. I cannot tell you time and time and time again, year over year over year, when I go sell a house and a woman is living in it, and I ask her, do you know where you're going after this? Almost always the answer is no. I have no idea where I'm going. So when I talk about how passionate I am about women in real estate and women in the workforce, it's because I see the effects of what can happen when women are unable to financially support themselves. We may have community property laws in California. We may have, laws in place. Believe me, the court expects women to work. The court expects a woman to get on their feet and be able to get a job. So for those of you who are balancing it, and I just did a webinar yesterday on balancing women, balancing marriage and family and work. It is something that is very, very, it's important, even just for our own self-worth, to know that we can support ourselves. So for those of you who are on today, who are, burning the candle at both ends, keep doing what you're doing. We have all been there. Now, how does this impact the house and divorce and our role, right? As a realtor, our role in a divorce case? Well, families are heading into poverty in a divorce, and yet the equity in their house is the primary source of funds so that they can move on, so that they can pay the debt, pay their lawyers, pay off whatever, and then secure new housing and continue to pay for things for their, for their children. So it is imperative that we as realtors know how to handle these listings, and we do not leave a penny on the table for this family. That's our job. We will have clients who want to sabotage this. We will have investors who are going to try and talk us into getting their offer accepted without putting the house on the market or without giving it a fair shot. We have to always remember that this family comes first and that their financial future depends on the quality of work that we do. The probability of closing with the first listing agent is about 50%. That is a stat that we at the Alumni Institute have loosely come up with based on our experience and in talking with other attorneys, as well as the experience of our certified divorce real estate experts at the Alumni Institute, and how many listings that we took that we were the second agent on. They didn't sell with the first agent. Okay. Understand, when a house doesn't sell with the first agent in a divorce case, what has to happen typically is that they go back to their attorneys, and their attorneys are, how do attorneys bill? How do they bill?
By the hour.
Right, by the hour, by the minute. And so every time their lawyer has to get brought in to do anything, they pay for it. An average hearing, now this is depending on where you live, but an average hearing to get another realtor appointed on a case or brought into a case, an average hearing is going to cost anywhere from $3 on the low side to about $8,000 just to get another realtor on a case. So understand that if we fail to do our job, how much money that is costing this family that is already staring down the barrel of poverty. So we have to know what we're doing. We have to be very skilled, and we have to do our job and do it very well. Now, there are 3 focuses as you grow into the niche. Number 1 is learning the law and how it impacts the sale of the house, because the court has jurisdiction over the sale of the house. Court has jurisdiction over the parties. Understanding how to manage these listings, including the drama. It's very easy to get sucked in. It's very easy to lose our neutrality. It's very easy to kind of buy into the narrative of one spouse we like better, because newsflash, we always like somebody better. I mean, there's always somebody who's nicer, right? Who we identify with more, right? So, but as soon as we start swaying that neutrality, we can start to lose control of the listing. And then we all know now what happens. And then lastly, we need to know how to grow the business. So understand a couple of these things here. When is the house dealt with in divorce? There are 3 phases. So a lot of times I get asked, can we, as soon as somebody's getting a divorce, I think I'm going to, I'm going to go after recent filings. And as soon as somebody gets a divorce, Ordinarily, the first phase in their case does not involve us. It is ordinarily Band-Aids and emergency orders. There's usually something that caused the filing. Maybe it was just a last straw. It was an affair that has just been discovered. It is, you know, abuse that for the last time is going to happen, and somebody's gained their strength to get out. So when they file, there's a lot of times these Band-Aids, it's you know, these emergency orders, it's high drama. And then it's also, how are we going to live immediately? I mean, who's going to have access to the bank accounts immediately? Who's going to pay immediately the car payments and the insurance payments and the house payment and that kind of thing? So phase one are sort of these emergency temporary orders just to get them through to the next phase, which is in investigations and discovery. This is when, you know, they're pulling tax returns. If there's a business owner, they're getting all of their financials. They're doing all of the discovery stuff. Think of it like inspections in our world. It's kind of the same thing. This is their discovery. It's kind of their inspection period, if you will. And then the third phase is final decisions and trial. So we typically come into play phase 2, phase 3 is when we come into play. It can take months or years to get through these phases. So going after, trying to, you know, go after clients in phase 1 that have just filed, a lot of times it's just not the time yet. It's too early. Sometimes they sell then, but for the most part, there's a lot of other stuff that is that's taking precedent over the sale of the house. So a few practical things to avoid avoid pitfalls. Number 1, pull a prelim early. These cases oftentimes have late mortgage payments, unpaid property taxes, judgments. There can be spousal and child support judgments. There can be judgments or liens from creditors, because remember, when does the net worth of the family start to decline? Did you guys remember? When does the net worth of the family start to decline? I'm looking in the chat. 4 years. Erica is a star student. 4 years. Exactly. Cami, yep, exactly. 4 years. So 4 years is when money starts to go down. And so the you know, financial ramifications can start to show up. So get a prelim very, very early on. The last thing you want to do is find out some landmine during escrow. Also, foreclosure notices or notices of default. Is the house in any kind of default? Not uncommon for house payments to not be made. I'd say probably, if I had to guess, 50 to 60% of my listings, house payments aren't current. So make sure that you are doing that. Also know that there's something called automatic temporary restraining orders. ATROs is what they call them. So when a divorce is filed, restraining orders, and I'm not talking about domestic violence restraining orders, there are those too sometimes, but these are restraining orders that essentially, you know, they put a stay on, you know, neither parent can take the child out of the country, sort of a thing, maybe even out of the state. Neither parent can close credit lines or can do anything. So it is, neither parent can sell the house unilaterally. Okay. So don't take a listing with just one spouse is the point, because they may not have authority to list and sell it. And I've taken over a lot of listings where a realtor took a listing with one spouse because that spouse is going through divorce. They wanted to sell it. And then by the time they got an offer and they try to get the other spouse on board, the other spouse is like, pound sand. I never even hired you. Okay. So the time to get the cooperation is day 1. It isn't once you're in escrow, even though we can technically list a house with one party's signature. All right, dealing with complexities. So we do have a lot of cases where there are domestic violence restraining orders. So in those cases, definitely no joint communication. You ought to know whether or not there's a domestic violence restraining order. One of the things that you're going to get, Tawny's going to see to it that an email is going to go out to you guys after this. So look for it later on today. But one of the things is I have an intake form, and it is literally all of the questions that we ask in my office as soon as we get a new lead. So first thing, do an intake. And we ask these questions. Is there a court order? Are mortgage payments on time? Is there a domestic violence restraining order? We need to know these. I have a case right now. I spoke to the wife. Wife wants to be at the house during the walkthrough. Husband lives in the house. She never said that there was a restraining order. Call the husband. Husband says, heck no, there's a restraining order. She's not coming here. So we need to know that if there's a restraining order, no joint communication, no group text, no, none of that. Okay. Second thing is the fear of the in-spouse during showings. So if you've got a restrained person living out of the house, the in-spouse is inherently going to be nervous about doing open houses, about that spouse coming into the house. And also that the restrained person is trying to compel us to get them in the house. They might say, well, it's my house. You work for me. I need to get inside the house. I need you to bring me, I've got my stuff there. I left my motorcycle there, whatever. So be aware of that, and that we may be, they may try to use us for those sorts of things. So then we run into access problems. This is not uncommon as well. You have a party who lives in the house who doesn't want to sell. And so that party holds a lot of power. They can refuse access to you, to the buyers, to inspectors, to appraisers. It's not at all uncommon that these things happen. So we have to, again, have a strategy. How do we work through them? And then you've got the party that doesn't want to sign any paperwork. They absolutely refuse to sign any paperwork. And yet there's an order by the court that the house has to get sold. Personal property. When someone leaves the house, ordinarily they have not taken all of the personal property that belongs with them. Ordinarily that hasn't happened yet. Usually, sometimes people just leave with the shirt on their back. Other times they've taken some stuff, but they've not gone in the rafters of the attic and, gone over everything and gotten their high school yearbooks and Christmas decorations or whatever. So that is another thing that can hold up escrow at the end, is that they've not gotten all of their stuff out. And now, we've got to deliver possession to the buyer in 24 hours and they're fighting over the napkin rings and the candlesticks. So again, that's something that we want to address early on. Have you gotten your stuff out of the house? If not, make arrangements to get that stuff out of the house, ideally before the house even goes active on the market, so we don't deal with it during escrow. And lastly, distribution of proceeds. Where does the money go? Most of the time, if it's an active court case, the money goes to an attorney's trust account. And we need to get that directive, because a lot of times they have to still divide the money. They don't get the money right away. But a lot of court orders don't give these directives. So we need to make sure that, there's not an 11th hour fight over where the money is going to go. All right. And then managing the drama. So I have something I call the conflict spectrum. And what this means is that some cases have on the low end about 10% conflict. These are the people that got married, things didn't work out, they're not really in love, they're more friends than they are, romantic partners, and they want the best for each other, but they just, they're just going to write up their agreement on a napkin and they're good. So usually there's very low conflict at that point. Opposite end of the spectrum, you've got personality disorders, high conflict. These are the cases that drag out forever, restraining orders, substance abuse, all of that. So know that no two divorces are alike. And a lot of times the conflict, especially while we are in the case with our slice of that case, when we're selling the house, a lot of times the conflict will escalate. So we may get one that's 30 to 50% conflict. And by the time we're done, it's 70, 80, 100% of the conflict. So know that can happen. Our goal is not for them to agree with each other. Our goal is to get them to agree with us. So if we have an offer And we think, I mean, in this day and age, we get, 400 offers on every listing, and we've sorted through and we've vetted. We make a recommendation and say, here's my recommendation. I think that what we should do is we should counter blah, 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 blah. And then have them agree with you. And then you go to the other spouse and same thing. They agree with you. If we turn the conversation so that it's about them and we say, okay, well, he wants to do this. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with him? That is almost always going to start to spark up conflict, because these people can't agree that today is Wednesday. So it's important that you've got enough of a relationship with each one of them independently that they agree with you. Be aware of your biases. Know that we're a neutral. Okay. Know that we are a neutral, and we can have biases. We all have them. I have them. But know and try and recognize when you do, because if our biases come out and we start to treat one spouse like they're not an equal partner here in all of this, then we start to alienate them. And when they can't trust us, when they don't feel like we're neutral, then what happens? The listing starts to fall apart. We lose control of it. We become part of that statistic of the 50% lost listings. And then ultimately this family is going to end up, perpetuating a toxic situation, and it costs them money to have to replace a realtor. And then the last part is transparency versus confidentiality. So we see, as realtors, we see a lot of things. One of the things that an example that I use is during COVID, there was I had a client who was living in the house, and she does Botox, and her clinic was closed down during the pandemic. So she started doing it out of her house. And I'm telling you, it was like a drug dealer. She had people coming in and out of the house all day, every day, getting their Botox. And she did not want her husband to know that she was still working. Why did she not want her husband to know she's still working? Money, 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 money. That's it. Exactly. She didn't want him to know because he's paying her a heap of support. And if he knows and finds out, not only is her support going to go down, I think she's probably making so much money that she may have to pay him support. So, know that just because we see something doesn't necessarily mean we disclose it to the other side. My litmus test for this is this a material issue that's affecting the sale of the house? So if I can't show the house, except for from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., 3 days a week, because she's got patients coming in all the time, that's going to be a problem. I have to answer to the husband as to why I'm not making the house available. So long as it's not a material issue affecting the sale of the house, if she can figure out a way to allow showings to happen, then fine, but I'm not going to lie for somebody, but at the same time, there's no need to necessarily stir the pot and tell them, disclose things that really don't have anything to do with the sale of the house, or we can work around them. So those are a couple of your nuggets and tidbits. How do you break into the niche? This is probably one of the biggest questions that I get is, how do I break into the niche? Well, what not to do is to get a power dialer and start pounding the phones on those public records. So we already talked about why not, because it's usually too early. Another reason is because there can be domestic violence issues. So you may have, for example, a woman who she and her children need to be safe. And before they serve the other party, they are going to make a strategy with their lawyer. Maybe they're going to get to a safe place, a hotel room or whatever, but they go ahead and file, and then they are going to time when they're going to serve. Well, if they file and then, you know, Joe Realtor decides to call and say, hey, do you want to sell your house? And he calls the husband, it can blow the cover. That happened to one of our faculty attorneys' clients. The exact scenario did. And it put this family in danger. So we don't do it for that reason. Don't do it for the outros, like I said. And lastly, it's tacky. So Sphere and Mets, this is your first place to go. Really serve the people that know you. These are your lowest hanging fruit. It's where you're already trusted. So skill up so that you can serve these people who you already know, and you can be their protector, so they don't fall in the hands of someone who is unscrupulous or unskilled. The next step is business to consumer. We call it non-Mets, right? Host an online workshop with a divorce attorney or a title rep. Run social media ads with useful tips. I'm not talking ambulance chaser, but there are people going through real crises right now that don't know what to do and that need information. So run social media ads. That's perfectly fine to do, so long as it comes from contribution and you're helping them. And then the third one is B2B, lawyer referral. That's the most complex. Be a master at real estate first. It's a whole lot to learn the business of real estate and learn how to deal in the complexities of these matters at the same time. So then have a special expertise in the unique issues of divorce. So this is what we certify to, and I'll talk just a second about that. So what are your next steps to getting into the niche? Number one, download the Divorce Real Estate Handbook. So we're going to give you a link to do this. We're going to give you a link that has all of this and send you an email. So if you don't have a pen or paper or whatever, don't sweat it. Number one is download the Divorce Real Estate Handbook. That's got a lot of good information in there. It's free. Number two, join the Divorce Real Estate Mastermind Facebook group, because we've got a lot of good conversations. As a matter of fact, hi everybody, because we're streaming live in there as well. So join the Facebook group. Number three, plug into the Ask the Experts webinar series. That's free. All these things, these first three things are absolutely free, and they are going to give you a wealth of information. I interview people, professionals in the topic of divorce or building divorce businesses. So plug into that series. You'll find out about it on the Facebook group, and we can also send you notices about it. And then number four, register for our Divorce Niche Bootcamp. So our family law attorney, one of our faculty members, she's a divorce lawyer, Shelly John, she and I put together a very comprehensive online class that you can take at your leisure. And it is an entire boot camp on how to get started in the niche, also the legal stuff you need to know, and all of the steps and tools and resources to each step of the listing. You will walk away with a 12-month marketing campaign for your sphere. It is the best money ever spent, and we've got special deals for Women's Council. And then lastly, becoming a certified divorce real estate expert. We do this twice a year. The faculty at the Alumni Institute, we provide our certification. It's a 6-month program, and our next one is coming up April 18th. This April, in like 2.5 weeks, it's coming up. We still have, I think, about 5 spots left. And we do it in spring and fall every year. And you become a certified divorce real estate expert. We literally hold your hand and give you every single tool you need in order to succeed in this niche as a court-appointed expert in the divorce real estate space with lawyers. So I highly recommend, if this is a significant niche that you want to build in your business, definitely go for it. So here's our special offer for the Women's Council of Realtors, the Divorce Niche Bootcamp. Save $250 with the code WCR2021. And then on master course, to obtain your certification, it is a $300 savings as well. Oh yes, and the deadline to apply is April 7th. So if you want to become certified, deadline to apply is April 7th. So you want to make sure you get on. We only have 5 spots left on that. So, and we're running interviews all the time. So anyway, thank you all so much for having me on here. I'm open to questions. 5 minutes.
Well, I have one question. Who remembers what is the #1 goal with the spouses? You gotta mute yourself.
Get them to agree.
With who?
With you, with the realtor, with not each other. They never will with each other.
Yeah.
Exactly. What was the percentage of listings that with the first realtor closes? The success rate?
50%.
50%.
50%.
Okay, your turn to ask questions.
I found
Thank you
that,
so much. That was awesome. This is Erica Kohler. I have a question. So can you tell me a little bit about your certification program and what that entails? And is that an NAR certification?
So it is not an NAR certification. NAR tends to own their own certifications. And so we have chosen to remain independent. We can be more nimble that way. So what it entails, first, there's an application process. So the application requires resume, essay, 2 letters of recommendation, proof of production, minimum time in the business, 3 years, and then a screening interview, and then an interview with one of our family law attorneys. So that is the application process. Once you're approved, then we have our master course, which used to be live, but we've switched to an online format. We have very small class sizes. So we only hold about 15 per class, 15 to 20 per class. And it is a very intense 2-week. We spend about between 3 and 5 hours a day going over lessons. So it's live, it's just like this. So it's very interactive. It's not like death by PowerPoint. We go over the anatomy of divorce, bias in communication, the psychology behind all of it. And then how to build your business. We have a code of ethics that supersedes just the NAR code of ethics that all of our CDREs also subscribe to. Once you've graduated from that, then there is a 6-month apprenticeship program, and we have something called a CDRE dashboard, and it's literally got a step-by-step guide and system for building a business with family law attorneys. Everything down to, I'm not kidding you, we have intro packets that we have designed, and we even tell you what kind of paper to print them on. I mean, we get very, very granular, all the way to scripts, to how to get through the door, how to do a meet and greet, how to do lunch and learns in law offices, how to write articles for your bar association, how to be a speaker at your bar association. And then we also have a monthly CLE, which is continuing legal education program that we host for family law attorneys throughout the country. So our CDREs, it's the 4th Wednesday of every month. It's called Raising the Bar. Our CDREs invite their lawyers to the Raising the Bar every month. It's $55 for the lawyer, but our CDREs have a guest pass, so it waives the fee. So on a complimentary basis, our CDREs invite their lawyers to Raising the Bar to get CLEs, and we host the whole entire thing for them. And it also, you have a divorce attorney mentor. We break up into small groups. You'll have a divorce attorney mentor. We do case studies, learning labs. I mean, it's one of a kind training. Basically, it's built what I wish I had. That's what it is. It's what I wish I had when I was starting in the niche. So I've taken, my 16 years and I've curated it and condensed it into this program so that it doesn't take you 3 years, 5 years to get your footing. It takes you, a year, 9 months to a year to start getting what I got 5 years in.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Nikki just put more info on it. Perfect.
Does anyone else have any questions?
There was one in the chat, Tani, that wasn't brought up. This is Teresa from Arizona, by the way. Great class. But the question was, is this California based or national?
National.
Okay.
The certificate. Yep. Both of our programs are national. In fact, we've got one CDRE in Scottsdale, and we are in 23 states now. I think that we're expanding that with our new applicants. I don't know how many more states we're going to be in, but our goal is all 50 states. We've got a few markets that are closed. They're on wait list only. We've got a few markets that have one spot left. And then we've also got a lot of areas that are untouched, that it's an opportunity to be the first one.
Thank you very much. Excellent.
Are you in Washington State?
Yes, we are. We have got Joel Simanko, who is, he covers kind of between Seattle and Bellingham. We've got Zach Entwistle in Tacoma, and then I believe we've got a new student from Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. Where are you located?
South of Seattle, about 25 miles, Kent.
Okay. Yeah. So we probably, yeah, I'm sure we still have, you know,
I'm right across the street from the courthouse.
oh, what
Literally.
What county is that? King County?
King County, yeah. We have a courthouse here in Kent, yeah.
So Erica, in Michigan, in the Detroit area, we don't have anyone right now. I cannot remember if we've got an applicant. I know Nikki is on here. Nikki is our director of growth. Do you know if we've got an applicant from Detroit? I can't remember. In Georgia, we have got Atlanta. We've got one in Atlanta. She's awesome. Baltimore, Maryland, no. We don't have anyone in Baltimore.
New Jersey?
New Jersey, we have Rami Rosen in Hoboken, New Jersey. Indianapolis, no.
Go ahead, Anna.
No, in Destin. We don't have anybody in the Panhandle in Destin.
Laura, question is, what's the limit you have per county?
So it's really per market, and that is a little bit of an ambiguous answer. Because we've got courthouse, we've got attorneys, we've got bar associations we take into consideration. We have got obviously, you know, just real estate market. So it's also how active the CDREs are there. Our vision for this is that every divorce case throughout the United States, when there's a property to sell, it's sold by a CDRE. So we want every single attorney to be served by a CDRE. We are also very aware of the investment of time and money that our CDREs put into this. So we are not looking to flood a market. We want our CDREs to succeed. Our whole entire goal is to have every divorce listing handled by a CDRE. So we want our CDREs to thrive. I myself, I pull the plug on if there's an area that's being served, I'm like, we're not going in there because it's being well served and I want our CDREs to flourish. So no in Louisville. No in Louisville. Richmond, Virginia, I don't believe so. Punta Gorda, I'm a native Floridian, Crystal.
Oh, that's President Crystal, yeah.
In Punta Gorda,
President Tani.
We don't have someone in Punta Gorda. No, we don't have anybody in Lake Havasu. That would be awesome. No in El Paso. Geez, we don't have people in. No, we don't. Yeah, tons and tons and tons of opportunities.
Palmdale, California?
Nobody in Palmdale, and we
that's
need
where my mother's at.
We need more in SoCal. We definitely need more in SoCal. We've got a few, but we need a lot more. Orange County, wide open.
Did you say El Paso?
Nobody in El Paso.
What about New Mexico?
Nobody in New Mexico.
Okay, thank you.
There you go, Arceli. Yvonne, you had a question?
Nobody in Buffalo.
So once you take the course, is there a annual fee to continue, or are you a lifer after you
So
take the course?
it's an option if you want to. Most of our students go into something called Master Club because they want to continue to network. They want to continue to learn. They want to continue to get we provide all the marketing materials. I mean, like everything. You don't even have to write an email to your lawyer database. You don't have to do a newsletter to your lawyer database. We provide everything. It's just like, it's almost like, I don't want to call it a franchise, but for the lack of a better way to almost describe it, it's just everything. So most of our students stay on in Master Club because they want that. They also want the resources, right? But it is not necessary to stay on in Master Club. Now, in order to remain a CDRE, we do have continuing education that's required every year. So there is a continuing education requirement because, again, we want to make sure that our CDRE name and the alumni name continues to be extremely well respected in the family law community. So it's important that our agents are still skilled up.
Thank you.
Yay, yay. Okay.
I know we're at 2:05. Do we have any more questions for Ms. Laurel?
I got one. If you apply and you do not get accepted, can you reapply at another time, or is it just maybe the spots weren't there and you would contact that person later on to do another course?
Yeah, so in fact, we've got someone right now who was not accepted last year. And so she's reapplied for this one. And I think she will be in a better position to be accepted. So absolutely. Yeah.
And don't forget, we are a referral network. So please put your contact information in the chat and remember to save the chat. And I do want to thank Laurel. You did a great job as always. And guys, look forward to seeing us on Clubhouse because we're going to be, me and my partner Janine Gershon is going to be hosting some Clubhouses about life events because that's what me and Janine specialize in. And of course, you got to have our divorce expert break down about divorce, which is a big event. So be on the lookout for that. And you know me, I like to do some shout outs before we end. So let's see, who did we miss? Erica, you had great questions. I see, Sherry Ann. Hello. Want to unmute yourself?
Hi, good afternoon.
You want to tell us where you're from?
Oh yes, absolutely. I did put it in the chat earlier. I apologize. I mean, I had one ear over here. I had a maintenance guy in, my phone was ringing. So, but oh my gosh, such great information. Yes. So my name is Cherie, President-elect for West Valley here in Arizona.
Welcome.
Thanks so much, Tani.
Well, thank you. And let's see.
Sorry, Tawny, you said my name. I was
Erica.
dealing with a dog going kind of crazy. I'm in the Detroit area in Michigan, in Birmingham, Bloomfield, which is a suburb. And the timing is perfect because I've actually served about 6 or 8 clients who have gone through divorces in the last 2 years because I went through a divorce. And so they've just told me that my advice and my support for them for the whole process was invaluable. So when I found out about this, it was perfect timing. So I'm really excited about this program.
Love it.
My business.
Good, Erica. Great. Cinda Mason, who's president again. I don't know if she hears us, so let's see.
Tani,
Renee, yes.
Hey, can we give a shout out today? Because on Clubhouse, when you mentioned that, Sabrina Brown is going to be speaking on Clubhouse today at 4 about her Women's Council why Women's Council, why she continues to serve. And she is running for a national liaison. So 4 o'clock in Clubhouse.
So 4 o'clock, Clubhouse, our very own first vice president, Sabrina Brown, is going to be explaining about her why and Women's Council. So we'll be Clubhousing it. I had to buy an iPhone specifically just for Clubhouse. So I'm still mad about that. So now I have 3 phones, but hey.
That's committed. That's really committed, Tani. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tani?
Well, we are going to be doing a Clubhouse. We are doing a club, about Clubhouse on the 3rd Wednesday in April. So we are doing a Clubhouse event. And basically, for those of you who don't have a Clubhouse invite, I will send you an invite because I've been getting a lot of invites ready for that. So me and our director of members and strategic partnerships, we're going to be hosting that, and we're also going to take you into Clubhouse so you can see how it works and everything. So I will have some invites for some of you that don't have an invite already to Clubhouse, because it is an invitation only. So I can hook up some of you guys.
Tawny, is that the key? It's Cindy Mason. Is that the key? You have to have an iPhone in order to join Clubhouse?
Yeah, I know. I tried with the iPad, and turns out you have to have an iPhone to work it and pair it. I mean, I tried all kinds of ways not to have an iPhone, okay? But there was no way around
Same
it.
here. I have an Android, and I tried to download the app, and it said that I had to wait.
Yeah, you have to wait. The technology isn't there yet. They started.
I know. They
Sorry, I
messed
didn't mean
us.
to turn this into a Clubhouse combo.
You believe, Cindy, I didn't do it for 3 months because I was so mad about it. Okay, Jolene Hill, I seen your invite. Uh-oh, Sherry Ann, I got you. Okay, I'm gonna save the chat so I know who to send an invite to. Let's see, because Laurel, we're gonna hook it up with explaining, you know, how to really get help people with different life events. And she is so, I mean, the divorce niche, she is so well versed with that. And it's great that it's a national designation. So we're gonna really have a good time with that. Let's see who else. I want to make sure before we sign off that, oh, President Cassandra Oliver.
Hey, Tawny.
From Georgia.
How you doing?
All right, and yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for extending this invitation. It was really great.
Yes, ma'am. And don't forget, presidents, we got, I mean, she gave us a nationwide Women's Council code for all of us to use. And I recommend that you guys bring her on as one of your educational events for your members, because this is a really good membership benefit. So I definitely encourage you to bring her on as one of your speakers, because she's really good.
Yeah, this was really great.
Yeah. And let's see, well, it's 2:11. I want to make sure, does anyone want to mute? Oh, Tammy Knoll is in the house.
Hey, everybody. Excellent as always, Tawny. Very informative. And I'm really excited about, there's only one in Atlanta, so I think I'm going to be checking this out. Awesome. Thank you so much for having all of us.
And you guys do know Miss Tammy Knoll is running for treasurer in National. So we know, yeah, you already know who I'm voting for, so.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, dedication. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And let's see, we heard from Tony. So we know Tony, you're right across from the courthouse, so good for you. Okay, well, it's 2:12. I want to respect everyone's time. I thank you all for joining us. And we will be sending the recording out, and we will be sending all the contact information and a beautiful letter or note from Miss Laurel Starks. And we will see you later.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Great job as always. Thank you so much. Bye, Tawny. Bye, Hiro.
Bye, Miss Renee.
Thanks so much.
See you soon.
Oh yeah, Hiroko, we have to book something with Renee.
And Janine, I want to get in that rental as soon as possible.
Well, stay on the line, Renee, for a second. Me and Hiroko stay on the line with us.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much, ladies.
Bye-bye, Laurel. You're
Take
so
care.
beautiful. Thank